right. Hey guys, I'm Katie Room from Periapsis Press. David's just going to run and grab something. I'm going to get started. I have a cold and a sore throat, so I can't talk super loud or super much. So I hope that you guys will be able to carry me through this. David and whoever else will join them up. I am doing the Tranquil Garden again. Probably finish it up tonight if I don't crash and burn before then. And David will be working on the Batmobile that I got him for Christmas. This is the one that he did last time. I have updated the link in the description from last time to the correct Batmobile, and this time he's doing the Batmobile that I had originally linked. So, hi to Timo. And yes, there is currently a best of 2023 fantasy sci-fi horror poll going on, and there's it's like a bracket, right? So I'm in one and Leslie is in another. So we have each suggested 3 books that we have read that came out in this past year to be considered for this prestigious award. So you can follow the link and vote for mine, and then browse Leslie's is just a little bit later from mine. Okay. I am going to put a cough drop in my mouth.
All right, I'm just sharing a link on Twitter now that we're live.
Thanks, babe. So last time with this, I built the base and then did this stream, which has printed koi fish pieces in it. A lot of fun. This time I will be building up this area and this area more, and making some trees, I think so. Timo, yes, they are both part of the same contest. We're both in it's the preliminary round, but we are not, the polls that we are in are not currently competing against each other. So I am perfectly fine with promoting Leslie. Bag 6 already.
And then last time I built the classic Batmobile, and I didn't want to put the stickers on, just because I don't like putting stickers on during the live stream. I did a couple, like the control panels and stuff, but I think it was yesterday I finished putting the stickers on, and it looks really great. The stickers do add a lot. So there's one on each side, one on the hood, and one on each fin. So there's the finished set. I like Batman sitting in it with his cape streaming behind him. I think it looks pretty cool. Really, really pleased with this great little set. And now it's twice as expensive if you want to buy it. So good luck.
Oh, hey to William Jeffrey Rankin, Doug Wise, and Michael King. Thank you for tuning in. I'll just repeat for you guys. I have a sore throat. I can't do a whole lot of talking tonight. I have a cough drop in my mouth. Jonathan.
Hope everybody isn't expecting a lot of book discussion tonight, because you're not going to get it from me.
So we're stuck with David.
Yep. Now I'm kind of excited about this Batmobile because, as far as I know, I don't believe it has any stickers. So even though it's a few more pieces, it should be kind of a fast build. Let's see. The original one was, the one I did last week was 345, and this one is 438. 100 more pieces, but I think it will be faster. Oh, and son of a gun, it does have. No, that's not a. Is that a sticker sheet, or is it just a RFID anti-theft?
Anti-theft.
I think it's a sticker sheet.
Bummer.
It's very small. There's only a couple, and they mostly look like control panels. So that is acceptable. Looks like there's one texture piece that honestly I might leave off. Stuff like this, not too high on my priorities list. Can we pass the scissors over?
I don't have them. What'd you do with them?
All right, I'll be back. Oh, here they are.
That was going to be awkward. Awkward silence.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut about author success. I have nothing to add to that conversation.
They're all winners to me. There you go. That's it. That's all
Nice. Everybody gets a trophy.
Except that guy I argued with on Twitter.
Yeah. All these characters tend to come out of the woodwork. They've really been coming out of the woodwork lately.
Yeah, if I seemed like I was cranky on Twitter, it's because I'm sick. I have a lot more time to be feisty today.
Yeah, success is being a member of the chat of this live stream.
Yes.
Can I nudge this over just a little bit? We
Absolutely.
could each move closer to this center line.
Yeah.
Try to. Then we could know that where things sit.
By me.
Michael Caine says, any day he sells books, he calls a good dad.
Oh, there it is. Oh, what is this?
Yeah, Timo knows how it works. You can't stay too long at your day job. You can't, if you work too many hours, you hate your family, but you have to have a side hustle that makes a lot of money. Otherwise, you're not a good parent.
David is being sardonic.
Everybody knows that I'm being
Well, I just wanted to clarify.
William Jeffrey Rankin considers reviews to be more important than selling books. I agree. So right off the bat, there's something kind of interesting about this Batman. Most of the time, Lego Batmans have a really interesting way the helmet works. So usually the way the helmet works is that there is a white strip above the minifigure's eyes that is what shows through the helmet for the helmet eyes. So the holes in the helmet don't cover the actual eyes of the minifigure, right? In this Batman, the mask actually has dual molded white eyes. So there's no separate white strip on the face. That's pretty cool. It looks really nice. The eyes are very bright white compared to the painted.
Okay.
The paint eyes.
That's interesting.
There's all kinds of challenges to minifigures and how you kind of fit and proportion the different parts of the mask.
We've got kind of a steps down to the water here. It's kind of nice. Michael Caine says, I have 0 superhero minifigs, so that's pretty cool. Just see, I think you mean.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing I with other superheroes. I don't really have any superhero stuff myself other than Batman. So I don't know if it's if that's a common thing. But it's just interesting how they have to make those little compromises sometimes. Hey,
yes, sir.
Okay, sorry, I can see on my screen. It looks really dark on your screen, so I wasn't sure if you could turn your screen up a little bit, that would help me look over there.
Yeah.
To see. I can't talk too well and look over this way.
Yeah. Timo says he just hit his daily word count goal, so he's allowed to rest. And Michael Caine says he's stuck in editing purgatory.
Just don't edit.
Just don't.
Just hit publish. What could go wrong? Will anybody really know the difference? Hard to say.
Hard to say. Unless it... I don't know. Can't say unless you read it. William Jeffrey Rankin says, editing, schmediting, and Michael Caine says, I will know.
Yeah, God will know. William Jeffrey Rankin is good because he has a spell checker.
All right, so you can see that I'm building these holes that the trees are actually going to slide into, so they can be interchanged to wherever I want to put them. There's going to be another one right here. Timo says, God is your developmental editor.
If he didn't want this in here, he wouldn't have let me put it in the rough draft. I'm not sure whether I'm building the front or back of the Batmobile. I'm guessing it's the back. We'll find out. Oh, it was a long day today.
Michael Caine says, you joke, but I get weird feelings being 5 books in. I know that realistically it will be read less than the previous 4 books, which, yeah, who will know?
Yeah. I'm really only being partially facetious when I say, like, it might not matter.
I'm just not.
What are you doing?
There's not going to be anything here. I'm just putting this over it. It's really funny how some of this, like these ones, they were too tall, right? Whereas this, I'm just going to wall off the space.
Okay, well, we built one part. Now we're going to build another part.
Michael Caine says, I remember seeing Orson Scott Card talking about how many manuscripts he's seen destroyed by over-editing.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. My background is in writing tutoring. I actually took classes for it. And what they teach you in those is to, you can make suggestions, but you, like, ultimately the person who's writing the paper, right? It's for academic writing, is the one who has to make the decisions. And I have brought that to my indie editing, and that's been, I think, a very different perspective from other people who edit novels, because I would much rather see an author's voice come through than to iron out all the kinks and
Yeah.
interesting voice bits, just because they sound a little bit awkward to me when they might not to other people.
That's one of the great things about indie books, in my opinion, is that they're a little weird.
Yeah.
So
embrace it.
Yep. There was somebody that was talking about this on Twitter today. They were said something like, you can always make a book better by editing it. And I'm like, no, not necessarily. And I mean, it also means it also gets into what is the book, right? You can certainly change anything into anything else through a sequence of changes.
Sure.
But at what point is it not the original thing anymore? It's worth thinking about.
Yeah.
This kind of thing. What are you trying to do with your writing? What do you want it to be?
Yeah. Daniel Riley is Timo's editor on his next book.
Oh,
nice. Yeah, I don't know what his process is at all, but some of the pulp rev editors have a very different perspective from mine on a lot of things. So
I'm never gonna forget that that thing. I think it was in a blog post where Alexander Helene said that he had a vampire novel that he had Brian Niemeyer edit, and Brian Niemeyer told him to take it back to the drawing board. So it never saw the light of day, and probably never will. And I think, how bad can that book be? I'm sure that book is worth reading. And now, I'm never gonna get to read it.
Right.
He could have released that as is, and I would have bought it. And now it probably never will see the light of day. Yeah. So thanks. Thanks for that. I hope it's worth it.
I hope it was awful.
Hope it's worth it for your brand as an editor to just tell somebody that something needs to be totally rewritten. And I mean, maybe Alexander Helene didn't feel very good about it to begin with, but
maybe he sent it to him with the question like, "Hey, is this worth pursuing?" Maybe
I'm pretty sure he paid for it to be edited. That's the impression that I got. I could be wrong. I could be misremembering it. Doesn't matter, because we're never gonna get to read it.
Cry. I'm liking how this set isn't super polished.
Timo Burnham says that Daniel Riley is a yes man.
Yeah, William Jeffrey Rankin says, I wonder what the rationale was to get so far and then be like, nah. That, me too. But we'll never know. That's fine. But like David said, right? Just as far as how much editing, he would have bought the book. He likes Alexander Helene as an author and would have bought it. It wouldn't have cared, right? There are people that you just know have interesting ideas. And even if the final product isn't super polished, it'll be interesting and cool.
Mm-hmm. All right, so it looks like this here is going to be maybe the seat, because we're going to be putting stickers on a couple of little slope pieces that are going to go right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that right away. As long as we're close to the beginning, I'm not burned out yet.
Timo says Daniel definitely has some criticism. I opened this without thinking.
What did you do?
Well, it's all of the black that goes along the sides, and I don't know if I want to do that. All the black edges of the...
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't have an opinion about it. It's your Lego set. I think it probably is going to go on really fast. So I'd say as long as you've got it open, you might as well do it. Then you can see how it looks. Decide whether you want to keep it or not. Right?
Yeah. Michael Caine says, if I paid somebody to edit my first book, I know what they would say, the things they would say to cut, the structural changes they would want me to make, and I would hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Timo says, Riley said when we went over the book that he thought I had a pretty strong grasp on what I wanted the book to be, and so didn't want to get in my way too much with making big changes. I think you have to be like that when you're editing indie stuff. I don't think it works to try and make people make giant changes, or like to get too invested in what you think. A lot of people can be pretty opinionated.
Yeah, and I don't know why you'd feel so strongly about something that you didn't write.
Right.
I mean, it would be one thing if you were like being hired to make a book a bestseller or something, if such a thing is possible. Or you were running some kind of scheme where you were like, I'm editing this. I'm going to edit this if you're going to be published with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just paying somebody to edit, you know, I don't know why you would get hung up at all on what your opinion of how things should be would be. It would all just be, here's my suggestions, take it or leave it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would move on.
I can't get this off. I screwed it up. Guys, I screwed it up.
What did you do?
I got the snot pieces on there, and I can't use the thing to get them off because there's not enough room.
Uh-huh.
This is what I get for making the wrong decision. There we go.
Yeah, I have no concept of pacing. I worried too much that my book was slow paced. And then pretty much every supposedly fast-paced pulpy novel that I read by indie authors was slower than it. So I'm like, I have no idea what, it's like you see people read it on Kindle Unlimited and give up after a few pages and like, oh, was it not fast enough? And then people are talking about these books that they liked that I just know did, ding around doing nothing for the first, like literally nothing for the first X number of chapters. So it's a mystery to me. I don't know if I'm going to finish this Batmobile at this rate, babe.
Oh, I still love you anyway.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. William Jeffrey Rankin mentioned the Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh. Hiking.
In my opinion, this just goes back to what are you trying to do? Because
what have I done?
I think we all would agree that Lord of the Rings is a really great work of art. And I don't think that you could really even argue that there's a very clear story or thematic purpose to a bunch of the stuff that happens in Fellowship of the Ring. It's the kind of thing that a lot of people would want to get rid of.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'd rather there be more kind of weird books that do interesting things than a bunch of fast-paced, very even stuff.
I agree. Timo asks Michael Caine, when I get around to reading your books, should I play the Firefly theme on loop? Michael Caine says that's probably a pretty good match. The Western vibe is great. It's probably the closest thing that I've seen without being like frustratingly and stupidly derivative, Like it has that same, it feels like it's in the same genre without feeling like it's a wannabe, That is how I would describe that series.
J. Trevor Robinson, in his review of my book, said that he thought it was part Firefly.
Oh, really?
And I think that maybe, again, like there's maybe parts of the first act where it could have a bit of that vibe, but I think it pretty quickly goes off the rails and doesn't go back. Right. I mean, you get like by the end of the first act and into the second act, it really isn't anything like Firefly anymore.
Michael Caine brings up like Tolkien makes little side stories within his like descriptive passages, and he references the fox that sees the hobbits. Is that in The Hobbit?
That's in the Fellowship of the Ring.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
He capitalized Hobbit, so that's why. For a moment, doubted myself. There we go.
Yeah, the Misfits on a ship thing is definitely, I think, the thing that is Firefly-esque about my books. However, in Uriel's Revenge, they are all professionals, even though they come from different backgrounds and have different ages.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all like co-workers. And in the Fountain Mechanism, the ship travel and ship stuff is not as important to the story. So they're not like in Firefly. They're on a ship because that's part of like their job, their jobs or whatever. In the Fountain Mechanism, they're on a ship going from place to place just because of like the particular circumstance that they find themselves in. So I think it has a little bit less of that.
Michael Caine and William Jeffrey Rankin mentioned Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
As being maybe a bit more.
Yep. Well, and they're a bunch of they're professionals. Professional bounty hunters. The ship is kind of the home base that everybody comes back to, and they eat together and hang out together and stuff on the ship.
I would say Firefly and Cowboy Bebop are probably the ones that feel the most like that, but I would still put that Misfits on a Ship genre-wise. I always put it in space opera because it tends to be things tend to get bigger than the ship.
Yeah. Well, and they'd have to get bigger for it to really be space opera.
Right.
Because my understanding of space opera as a genre is it kind of gets into, like, kings and kingdoms and families and dynasties and a lot of, and something that's sort of epic, right? In a way that Firefly isn't. Firefly is very much a story about those specific people on the ship, and the stakes never really get bigger. I would say space opera the stakes need to get bigger.
I think they intended for them to get bigger is the thing.
Did they?
Oh, who knows?
Well, I mean, you can say that, but what evidence of it is there? I
would say the movie Serenity.
Okay.
But
I forget everything about that movie. Did they They sacrificed themselves to prevent some kind of Ravager invasion of Earth or something, right?
not
Not of Earth, but like a big planet or something. Because what I'm just saying is that there wasn't. Maybe the movie was like that, but the movie was made after the show was canceled,
right?
And there wasn't anything in the show that raised the stakes throughout the season.
No, but it felt like they were going, like with the brother sister pair and her background, and like it felt like they were doing things that this community on the ship were interacting with things that were much, much bigger and had a larger scope.
Well, so let's keep talking about this, because I think
Okay.
I think I disagree. I mean,
Sure.
They're interacting with bigger stuff. That's a given, right? You have a story, unless it's a story that's totally about events that just happen on the ship. They're going to interact with a bigger world, but the stakes don't get bigger, right? Like Star Wars isn't just about hijinks on the Millennium Falcon. They get sucked onto the Death Star and they have to rescue Princess Leia, and then they join the rebellion and have to blow up the Death Star so everybody doesn't die, right? It isn't just them running into these bigger things. The main characters get involved in things that have bigger stakes. I would say that's space opera.
Yes, but I'm saying is that I think that based on the movie Serenity, I think their intention, if the show continued, was to get there.
Okay.
That's what I think. I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out what this piece is supposed to be. Is this supposed to be an engine or some interesting part? It's really interesting, and it's constructed to be something that seems removable.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. The stakes get a little bit bigger. They blow the lid off of big government conspiracy.
I don't know.
Listen, mister. You can't fight with me. I'm sick.
It's been like 10 years since I watched Firefly, so.
Well, no, it's Serenity. In Serenity, they did that.
I stand by what I said.
Okay.
I used the words that I meant to say.
Okay.
You guys keep talking about Serenity. I was talking about Firefly.
Yeah, I was saying Serenity.
Yeah, and I get
reflecting
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
You're saying that Serenity, even though it was made after the show was canceled, is a clue to what would have happened in the show if it had kept going. That's all well and good. I'm saying in Firefly, the show, in it
as
itself,
it stands,
apart from Serenity, I don't see any evidence that they were building towards something bigger. From the beginning of the season to the end of the season, there's no raising of the stakes. I mean, they go on different adventures, but like the last couple episodes of the season, and I know there's like weird broadcast order stuff going on, but like the last couple episodes of the season are just like really random one-off little adventures. There's growth and change and stakes in the relationships.
I'm not gonna put the feet on.
In the relationships of the people on the ship, right? Like Inara and Mal's relationship kind of comes to a head, but there isn't like that I remember. There isn't some like outside stakes that they like. The last, I mean, the last episode of the season is just a one-off little adventure with the people on the ship, right? That would have been the time to raise the external stakes if there was one. And I believe what you're saying about stuff being intended to happen in the future. I'm not necessarily trying to disagree with that, but
yeah, I'm not going to put these feet on, so I'm putting these over here. On my way. Hey to Ultimate Kahuna. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, Michael Caine says he watched it once. And I when I watched it, I enjoyed it a lot. I can see why people like it, but at the same time, I think it's quite overrated.
I watched it a couple times as it in college when it would go like you got was it like 7 episodes at a time when Hulu ran it?
It was 7 episodes at a time, but they'd cycle in one episode and out every week.
Yeah,
that's how I watched it.
Yeah, me too. And I watched it a couple times that way, and then we got it and I showed it to my family. And that was fun watching it with them. And then I got married and David ruined it for me. I can't watch it anymore.
Just like I ruined multiple shows that Katie likes.
The thing is, right, that I could still enjoy them. But he insists on walking through and like making faces or like snickering, and it's like it just brings back his whole perspective on things that ruined it for me.
All of these shows have really unlikable and or ugly female characters, and I just harass those characters until Katie can't stand it anymore. Inara is the character that basically is the worst on Firefly.
If you'd just leave me alone, I could suspend my disbelief that anybody finds her interesting and or attractive as a person. But
I think it's funny to make fun of her because I think I've talked about this before, maybe even very recently, where she's one of those characters that probably would be a lot more tolerable if you didn't just know that the writer really, really thought that you should find her to be very likable. If the writer was willing to let her be an unlikable character, she would be a lot more tolerable.
mm-hmm.
But you were supposed to feel bad for her. She's a rich prostitute that bosses everybody around on the ship. She bosses around now. He does a great job of putting up with her more than she deserves. And then we're supposed to feel bad for her when, after a full season of her treating him like crap for no reason, he doesn't like her back. We're supposed to feel bad for her. Ridiculous.
Michael Caine says, I'm always surprised Nathan Fillion didn't have a bigger career. He's always so much fun on screen. He's in something right now. Some cop show. Rookie? Something like that. My parents are watching it. It's awful crap.
Awful crap.
Well, it is. He's good though.
So I think this mechanism that we're building here is a mechanism that lets these guns pop up. So we'll see how this actually works.
I'm making stepping stones. Oh, I'm totally off screen here. I'm sorry, guys. Failure.
Great content.
Great content. Lego is really built by a sick person.
Should do sick ASMR. I cough in your face for an hour.
And there's Anne. Anne says Castle. No, it's a current one, actually. But you're right. He was in Castle. It was too long, if you watch early episodes after watching the entire thing, my parents watched that one too. If you watch early episodes, you're like, whoa, he got fat, because he was super skinny at the beginning and then he gained weight. He's back down. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called Rookie. He's like a, what do they call it? Right? Like somebody who is doing a new career. Right?
A rookie.
Well, no, like, you know what? Not like, no, I mean, in a, like when an older person, not a college age, fresh out of school rookie, but like a
career change.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I tried to say, but you made me sound like an idiot.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to make this stream entertaining somewhat.
I appreciate you. What? It's okay.
This is quite large.
Okay.
It's going to be a bit bigger than this one.
Okay. Oh, I'm missing a leaf. Turn this up so you guys can see. Just built these guys. Look pretty good. Little kind of oblong stones, not perfectly symmetrical or the same. Just looks great.
They were stones.
Oh, I get to do some over here too. Okay. What is that from?
Oh, it's from The Wedding Singer.
Oh, that's what
he's
it's
like,
from.
they were cones.
That's right, because he's taking the
And
driver's test.
he doesn't even say it like that. It's just something that me and my friend used to
exaggerate.
William Rankin, are you asking Katie what this flat part is for?
This is where the house goes, or will go. It's actually gonna be sort of over the water a bit on stilts. So slow down, we'll get there.
Oh, I see. These are making the wheel wells. That's cool. The Bat House. William Jeffrey Rankin says.
Oh, the Bat House, I see. Is the house at minifigure scale? Yes, it is. If you pass me a minifigure,
it is like
it is a very small house.
It is within the leeway of.
Yep. Yeah.
And it uses ordinary Lego people sized things. I mean,
so it's got a tea ceremony set up inside with Lego sized tea things.
Yeah. You could maybe argue that it is smaller than minifigure scale or bigger.
It's the railing is not far enough away for there actually to someone to pass. So it's fudged in a number of areas.
But that's how normal Lego stuff is.
Right. Batman can meditate there after fighting crime.
Yep.
Batcave Burlesque Edition. Yes, it is. Yep. The Machta. It's just a green piece sitting in the bowls. It's literally a flat round piece. That's all it is. Oh, okay. Michael Caine says I ruined Frozen. Everyone that still likes it. And Anne says, "Oh, Frozen is hot trash. Every song except maybe one is a lie." I object. I think Frozen is fantastic.
Yeah,
and I'll fight you.
We watched it the other day, and we both thought it was pretty good.
I think
it's subversive, but it's not subversive in a bad way.
I think we were talking about this a little bit. I think it's subversive in a way that goes back to like the root of a trope.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this isn't the gun mechanism. This is, I think, maybe a swirling flame or something in the back, because this is turning with the wheel.
Oops, where am I?
Yeah, I mean, the message of it being that love is about sacrificing yourself for somebody else. Like, it's kind of hard to argue with that as a Christian.
Okay, that's wrong.
Person, for that to be the real meaning of love, right?
Yeah. And it's very much refreshingly proactive. Anna is the main character, not Elsa. If you think of Elsa as the main character, yeah, it's going to be a frustrating movie. But it's not about Elsa. It's about Anna. I think it's supposed to be here. Yes, that looks better. And Anna, instead of receiving an act of love, performed an act of love, and so it was subversive in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a healthy subversion. It goes back to a greater truth.
Yeah, I mean, I love things. All my favorite works, including my own, have the theme that, it doesn't matter what you feel, it matters what you do. And I think Frozen is basically a great example of that. I mean, that's what it's all about. Love isn't some, wishy-washy feeling. It's sacrificing yourself for somebody else.
And it
maybe whether even they feel the same way about you, right?
Right.
You're doing it because it's the right thing to do.
That was I think a big part of it, because Anna, when they talk about like love thawing a frozen heart, like her heart was frozen, and in the story it's very much about a literal freezing, but it doesn't necessarily have to be interpreted that way, because in a larger thematic sense, if you yourself have a frozen heart, doing something out of a desire to be loving towards someone can thaw that in yourself.
Ultimate Kuna says the evil prince was the only one in the movie performing a true act of love by killing off the worst character, Elsa. And Michael Caine says it's the song that completely messes up the messaging. Yeah, I mean, the song Let It Go is basically Elsa singing a bad song at her villain arc.
Yep.
Right? If you want to say, I think you're going to have a tough time. I remember when all of the LGBT stuff kind of took that as their anthem. It's like, that's her when she is doing a bad thing, singing about being bad. And the ending of the movie basically subverts that, right? The ending of the movie says, no, don't let it go.
Right, because she has to be returned to her family. She has to be
I mean, it's yes. Her family had to learn that it's okay that she has magic powers. I guess if
but
you,
her family didn't have a problem with
yeah,
that.
if you want to freak out about that, then I guess that's fine. But like, I feel like you're just being really, really nitpicky at that point about what is sort of acceptable. It's like you have a movie with really wonderful themes there in front of you, and you're basically like, I don't know.
It's the thing is, it's an extremely powerful song because it speaks to something that everyone has felt, right? We have all experienced feeling like that, but it doesn't end the story. The story doesn't end there. It's I'm still got the wrong piece in my hand.
So what you're saying is that great art can be transgressive, like maybe something can be good art, even if it talks about a bad feeling. What a revolutionary idea.
That's
characters can have arcs. What?
what I was trying to say was yes, and
this cool texture with these stacked plates here.
Right. Nice. There's always going to be people who misinterpret stuff in a way that fits their worldview, right? But within the context of the story, the song takes place in a context, and it's not preaching. You should let it go and go be off into a mountain and be yourself.
Yeah. At the very worst, it's what she's doing in that scene is neither right nor wrong, but it's kind of an amoral act of just running away. I think that's the best.
I screwed it up. I've been talking.
That's the best or the worst way you could read it. I don't think that the movie is trying to convey that she did a good thing by running away.
I don't think so.
I mean, it caused a lot of problems for a lot of people.
Right.
The rest of the movie is about them trying to get her to come back, and she does, and everybody's happy when she comes back, right? Like, what does that mean if that song is like an LGBT anthem?
Right.
Right?
Is that right? Yeah, it is. Okay. Oh, I didn't screw anything up at all. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna look at your guys's. Anne says, love is about having a prince hack his way through an evil thorn hedge and slay a dragon to a bomb ballet score. Major key empowerment, selfish song about self. The villain song made it catchy. The thing is that it's Broadway.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, other classic Disney movies before this have had catchy villain songs, right?
Really catchy.
Right? Like, doesn't Scar have a catchy villain song in Lion King? I mean, this is not a new. It's not like that's just part of the structure and convention of the genre that Frozen is in. It doesn't mean that it's some evil subversive thing.
It's
and I know nobody here is like arguing that.
Right.
I'm not trying to put those words in the mouths of people in the chat. I'm just
if you think about it in a Broadway context, it makes a lot more sense. Because
the Batmobile uses these window pieces for the intakes.
Oh, fun. Anne says there isn't a song about doing a good thing, except maybe Fixer Upper. Or the snowman song. Yeah, I agree. The songs are not like happy songs, but I would point to Broadway. Ultima Kahuna says the way the messaging works in kids' movies is how the movie portrays or justifies an action. Most movies will show people doing bad things, but it will not tell you they did the right thing. That's right. And I don't think in the context of the movie, Elsa's behavior is condoned. I think Anna sees it as a problem.
Yeah.
And her behavior is immediately to go after her, bring her back.
Yeah, and to spend the rest of the movie trying to get her back, and then good things happen when she comes back.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know how much more consequence there needs to be when the whole rest of the story is about trying to undo, what happened in that scene.
Michael Shea, hi, asks, is there going to be a lot of foliage? Eventually. Eventually there should be a lot of foliage, yes. Michael Caine says that the average Frozen viewer did not interpret it that way. And the thing about it is I have very little I guess faith in the average person's thematic interpretation of any movie.
Yeah. The people use that kind of argumentation a lot. I think this came up when Isaac Young posted his Demons Can't Repent thing.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of what people said was like, oh, it's wrong theology, it's bad theology. And, like it or not, people will make ideas about the way the world works from fiction. Yes, of course that's true. I mean, I'm not going to limit the kind of art that I think is safe by trying to appeal to the lowest common denominator or what random people are going to take from it. I choose art to enjoy based on what I take from it. Right?
Yeah.
I think personally I would have benefited from being exposed to a wider variety of stuff that was a little bit more inappropriate than I got exposed to as a kid, with my parents talking to me more about it.
Yeah.
One example of this is music. I didn't really listen to much like secular, like non-Christian music until I was in college. And I think I would have learned a lot more and gotten better at music faster if I could have been exposed to more of that stuff. So I'm exposing my kids to more of it now. Are there people that can't handle that? Absolutely. Yes. Are there kids that shouldn't be listening to that stuff without their parents explaining to them what's good and bad about it? Yeah. But I don't think that's a reason to not enjoy good art. And I think good art is complicated, right? I don't think that themes that aren't crystal clear or express some particular moral thing just in the way that we would like it to be expressed invalidates it. And again, I'm not saying that that's what you're saying, but yeah, Michael Caine says it's not smoking gun to say an audience misinterpreted something, but it can be an indicator specifically if the target audience missed the point. At some point, the writers are responsible. Yeah, and I don't know what the point of the writers were trying to make was exactly. if they were trying to, certainly if they were trying to communicate that it was a good thing that Elsa ran away, I would say they failed to do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I would say, Michael Caine referencing other villain songs being villainous in tone and imagery. Elsa isn't the villain of the story, though. The story is a little bit complicated,
yeah,
right? More complicated than some of the other Disney
yeah,
princess stories,
and
because the main villain, is Elsa's fear, not Elsa herself.
well, and the main villain is somebody who you don't know is the
Right.
villain, right? The main personal character villain. Part of the story is it's a secret who the villain is.
Mhm.
I suppose you could argue that they should have shown that guy was actually the villain earlier, and then you could have done that and hid it from Anna.
Yeah.
And made it known to the audience. I don't know. To me, it's all choice. Also, I will say, I think the whole Frozen sequence is dark.
Mm.
You know, she's running away. She's doing creepy things, right? I think she creates that ice monster in that scene, right?
No.
Or is that
That's later?
But she goes from basically completely hiding her powers. I mean, what do we see at the beginning? She creates Olaf, right?
So at the beginning, where am I?
She creates Olaf, but then their powers are hidden.
She doesn't create him then. They make him together as kids, and then she does it again during that song.
Okay, but she basically we go from seeing hardly any of her powers to her doing all this terrifying stuff while she's running away.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's dark. I think I think the scene where she raises the castle is really reminiscent of Watchmen, where Dr. Manhattan creates that machine on Mars. I think that pretty much has to be a intentional callback to Watchmen.
You think so?
Yeah, you remember the scene in Watchmen?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I've pushed all memories of Watchmen out of my mind. I'm sorry, it's not one of my favorites.
So,
Ultimate Kahuna says, "Gasp! We disagree on something." Writes angry tone deaf Twitter rant.
So.
Ultimate Kahuna says, "Oh, I'm an idiot. I thought this was a combined stats of the Batmobile and a Japanese garden. I was so confused. It's a combined set." Nope, we're working on separate sets. Okay, so I hope that I answered your question, Michael. I'll show you the box real quick while David's looking. So there are going to be 2 blossoming trees, a conifer, bamboo, and then these pieces as well. Oh, and there's one more kind of wiggly, scraggly one as well. And then a little shrine piece that, and those are all interchangeable. So they will all be built on blocks that will fit into these holes. And I think those are the things that I work on last, of course. That will be next bag I start doing those. Right now I am doing the bridge and stonework and some little lantern dudes.
Come on, where is it? Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, so
Anne says, I loved it in Frozen 2 when we get to wonder why Elsa's mom and Superman's dad were roommates. There are no canon Disney princess sequels. None. That's all I have to say about Frozen 2.
Okay,
There
so
will be a bridge across the river. I'm building it right now. Next page.
so this is what I'm talking about. So in Watchmen, you know, Dr. Manhattan's life kind of falls apart. He's basically a god among men, and he can't stand the bad things that he's causing to people around him, so he flees. You got the classic, I'm tired of this world, these people, I'm tired of being caught in the tangle of their lives. So he leaves, he warps to Mars, and what does he do? Look at this. Does this look familiar?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So he nopes off to Mars, kind of builds this palace. Right? This is dark. This is dark stuff. This is not him doing the right thing. Right? This is him I'll cover up the nudity here. This is him kind of being a coward. Right? He builds this thing kind of because he used to ding around with watches as a kid. So yeah, this is what the Frozen sequence or the Let It Go sequence reminds me of.
Okay.
And she builds something that looks like this.
It does, yeah. It's
So-
very similar.
And this is iconic stuff. To me, it's highly unlikely that they wouldn't be familiar with that.
Okay, I screwed that up. Okay. There. Fixed it.
So, Michael Caine, if you have not read Watchmen, I would highly recommend it. It is not fun. It's not a fun book at all. And it gets a lot of hate as being one of the books that kind of started the whole superhero deconstruction thing. But it is very, very, very good, in my opinion. And it's a tremendous work of art. So, the ending is really brutal, and you're probably not going to like it, but it is definitely worth reading.
Okay, Michael Shea is really not interested in Frozen at all. What Lego set do you think you'll be doing next?
So, I'll bring it over, actually.
I'm going to be working on the bridge here.
Yeah.
I'll try and do it on screen.
And there will be other stuff that we'll do too.
Yes.
But probably the next thing that we're going to build is Galaxy Explorer. So this is a set I've been wanting to get, and I just recently found it at Walmart on clearance for $60, which is crazy. This is normally a $100 set. And this is kind of fun because it's continuing in the tradition with Lego of them doing these modern remakes of classic sets that are really, really good. So I'm anxious to do that one.
Michael Caine mentions that the songwriters, when they wrote it, I've heard this as well. What I heard was that after hearing the song, they decided to make her a more sympathetic character, and that affected the plot in that way. Michael Caine says, I take back every recommendation I've ever made of Katie on Twitter. Yeah, I stand by my statements this evening, and
We've really done it this time. We thought the other fights were bad.
I hadn't seen it since I saw it when it first came out, and I at the time I thought it was really great, and I feel the same way now. Oh, there it is. That I've watched it again. Now that I have children. Before I only had sisters, and yeah, I cried when it first came out. Oh,
Well.
I have 3 younger sisters. And I just hope that they would come and save me out of my ice palace if I ever had one. But now I have a husband, so things are a little bit different.
What Disney princess movies are better than Frozen?
Tangled.
I've never seen Tangled.
I liked Tangled. Talk about catchy villain songs. My mom sings Mother Knows Best.
I wonder why.
Michael asked, did you get the remake promo when it came out?
Was that are you talking about the promo Blacktron set? If so, I didn't get that. I don't buy too much Lego directly from Lego, so don't get too many promo sets.
Michael Caine says I'm forgiven for my Tangled take. I also really liked Mulan. Again, there are no sequels to Disney princess movies. So
Mulan 2. Mulan becomes a man again after becoming a woman again.
No, she becomes the advisor of 3 girls and woman power and it's all crap. I see. Okay. It's not worth anybody's time. That's what it is. Michael said yes. Michael Shea said yes.
Okay.
To your question.
Yeah.
And Michael Caine says, I've come around on Mulan.
Come around.
It's a really nice story, and it is not nearly as girl power as one would make it these days. So
nowadays it would be some kind of trans allegory. Right.
Right.
Mulan is a queer hero or some such. A queer icon.
She was married, wasn't she? I know the Chinese didn't like the remake, the live action remake they tried to make. It's not really a girl power thing. It's like Mulan's motivations are to save her father, and once she does that, she goes home. She's offered a government position, and she says, "No, I'm going home." Like that was in the movie, and it's not about it. It's not about one-upping the guys.
So I think we've built most of the frame of the car here. Now we're going to be starting to build more parts that are on the outside. And this stuff here is basically just building these engine parts that you can see from the sides. So that's what the purpose of that part was.
Michael Shea has a question and then follows up with, sorry, that whole entire comment was a typo. Have you built the Eiffel Tower? We haven't built any of the real stuff.
Yeah, we don't really do the
Oh, you did this
yeah,
the rocket
I have the
ship.
Saturn V.
Yes.
We don't usually do stuff that's not minifigure scale. We don't usually do architecture type sets. This is something that Katie liked because it is kind of minifigure scale, and she collects minifigure scale
Oriental buildings. This one.
Mostly from Ninjago and related stuff.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a good fit for what she liked. I do almost all minifigure toy type stuff.
Ultimate Kahuna points out Mulan the movie is weird because Shane is really into Mulan before he figures out she's a girl. I don't know if that's accurate. I think I don't know if I would say he's into her in that fashion. Of course, I'm not a guy, so I'm not sure about all the bromance relationships. And
there's a lot of naked cuddling.
Thank you, my love. I didn't need to know. But like, he is an authority figure, and so it's not like he's ever like hanging out with them. He's not. So I disagree with that take too.
Yeah, Ultimate Kuna is on the same page as me. If you don't know what that is, don't look it up. Yeah, and I think I saw Mulan maybe once on TV. So I don't remember enough about it to be able to comment on that.
Anne says, hottest of takes, the 2015 live action Cinderella was equal to and probably better than the original.
My sister really likes that movie, and neither of us really do.
I think it improved on my second watch because of a very, very minor line that would be easily missed that she says to somebody else. Someone asks her why she doesn't just leave.
Mm-hmm.
And without that line, I think everything falls apart.
What was that line?
Basically, as to her motivations, where she was like, I want to take care of my family's home. The home that my parents left me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, she's not hanging around. Just so Katie's big problem with that movie is that Cinderella is kind of a doormat, and she like her redeeming quality is being nice.
Right.
And that's really
have courage and be kind.
When that's really not well, and I mean that's the line from the movie, but
right.
But we would argue that the way that plays out is it's just being nice. And
right.
We're kind of the opinion, that just being nice is not a good quality in and of itself.
Yeah.
You don't like being nice and staying in abusive relationships is not something that we're called to do.
Right.
But yeah, that line kind of changes it. I don't know.
It still drives me nuts.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that movie.
I think I have a much more proactive, violent response to things than
we like Kenneth Branagh here, though. I like Kenneth Branagh a lot. I like pretty much everything he's ever done.
Why?
I agree with Michael Caine that the first Thor is definitely one of my favorite MCU movies. I'm not sure if I would say it's the best. I think the first Captain America is really good.
Okay.
But yeah,
Where
I really like Kenneth Branagh.
I built something wrong here? No, I have not. It's right here. Okay. Okay, Ultimate Kahuna says hot tech ever after. Yes, starring Drew Barrymore. Yes. Yes.
That's the one that Katie likes.
The best. Truly amazing. I remember looking at her dress as a girl, just being like, and it makes sense that everyone would stare at her. And yep. It's definitely the best live action. And maybe that's why I initially was so disdainful of the Disney one. Okay, why can't I get this to... Is it supposed to fit there? I dislike.
What?
This is not... I think it's supposed to go here. But I've got two...
What did you do now?
Over. That doesn't make sense. Ah! Driving me nuts. Okay, it will not fit there. It will not. I think it's supposed to go on top of this little leaf. Okay. I'm putting it right there. The prince in Ever After ruins it for Anne. Yeah, he's not anything to write home about, but yes, I agree. Picking him up during the bandit scene. Rom-com, yep. Oh, Anne watched Ever After directly after Stardust.
That sounds like a long evening. Michael Shea asks if the roof on the Lord of the Rings set behind us was hard to build. No,
it was not.
It wasn't,
actually.
because what you can do is you can put all of the pieces on, and then you can kind of line them up by using a plate. I don't know if you can see, but you can use a plate and run it between the little individual tiles. You can see there's a couple of them that aren't straight. You can run a plate in between them and straighten them out. So that actually did not take nearly as long to build as I thought that it would.
Everybody on the stream said it was boring.
Yeah, well, they can watch a different stream.
Oh, wow. No, stay with us. We love you.
Bye.
Michael Caine has to head out. Thanks for the frozen disagreement. You're still wrong, but we can all live with that.
Yeah. Just let it go, Michael.
we could have Comicsgate level drama. That would be,
yeah.
If you wanted to hold a grudge.
Oh wow.
We'd play along.
if Michael Caine ever is a guest on our show and we make bumper music, like do bumper videos,
Yeah.
we should use "Let It Go" for his theme song.
So Anne is still complaining about the prince. It's a guy who just kind of stands there and doesn't have his own opinions. What's with that? Waste your time somewhere else. And then Ultimate Kahuna says, I feel that, Anne. Who is your favorite gal in Lord of the Rings? Eowyn or Arwen?
Wow. That's great.
I actually, kind of for that reason, Eowyn is my favorite. Where am I putting these? I'm putting these on top of leaves again. You can kind of see the way that they're having me angle these. That the house is going to be cockeyed here. Is that politically correct way to say?
Cockeyed? It's kind of on a slant. Isn't there some word that's like crooked? That is kind of a slur.
I'm sure. I don't know what it is offhand though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It wants me to turn it this way. All right.
This is quite beefy. It's definitely a little longer than the...
Come on. Oh, okay.
Cattywampus. There. That's what my grandma used to say, and I was trying to think of that.
We used to say kittywampus. That's interesting. There's a slight difference. Catty versus kitty. I always used it to mean in a more of a three-dimensional way, though. Versus like twisted.
The way I remember it being used is when I was little, I used to like to play chess with my grandpa. And I remember my grandma talking about the way the knight moves in chess as it moves cattywampus.
Michael Shea asks if we've seen Wonka. I haven't.
I would probably...
I've heard mixed reviews.
I'd probably like to see it when it comes out on streaming services or whatever. I'd give it a try. I've definitely heard mixed things. Some Twitter mutuals that saw it really did not like it. Hideo Kojima liked it, but I think Hideo Kojima likes pretty much everything. He's a fun person to follow on Twitter if you don't, because he's just very enthusiastic about life and seems like a very happy person. So if you want to follow somebody who just says positive things about things that he likes, he's a good person to follow.
Nice. Ultimate Kahuna said, almost everybody likes Eowyn, and I do as well, but Arwen is a very special character for me, and she's my favorite between the two. And Anne says, well, not all of us can be the personification of Starlight. I like Eowyn well enough. I think that
She's kind of a gold digger.
What? I think that the movie did as well as could be expected with her. But she's I don't think she's quite ethereal enough. I think she's what? Like she's too mopey and
what would have been a better actress to play her?
someone without such a long face. I don't know. But I'm actually talking about like the actual scenes that she's in, what like her behavior and stuff. Oh, so I made this box. And
yeah, I wonder what that could be.
Well, they're having me, it's going to go in this way.
Yeah.
Instead of like.
Yeah, because the thing has to come out that way.
Yep.
Duh.
Michael Shea says, the Japanese garden looks great. All you need is the trees and it'll look even better. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to do those next.
Ultimate Kahuna. New video idea, top 10 reasons A1 is a gold digger.
I think that pushing her relationship to the forefront kind of just makes it. What am I doing? You guys, I can't talk and build at the same time. There we go. Mundane. That's what I think. And that's what I've been trying to say. Mundane. This tree has a hole in it. Michael Shea says, when did you get into Lego?
So I did a lot of Lego as a kid, and then I started getting a set or two a year, maybe back in about 2012. And then after we were married, I got Katie into it. She had done it as a kid.
I had never done it. Crazy to think now.
It's a fun thing to do. I think especially if you view Lego, and I mean, we keep our sets. We don't sell them or get rid of them. But I think viewing it as an activity and a big part of what makes a Lego set worth the money is the enjoyment and the experience of putting it together.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a nice hobby.
Yeah, me too. It's very stress relieving for me. It's just if I do this and then this and then this, it will all turn out right.
Yeah, and the pieces are engineered so well. You know, it's just always enjoyable. Mm-hmm. And suggest a video with parallels between Eowyn and Jane Eyre. Trying to think how that might work. Did Faramir have a secret wife that burned his house down? Well, I guess his dad died by burning himself to death. So maybe that's the analogy that Anne was thinking of. I lost one of the little yellow pieces.
Yellow?
but we don't have to look for it now because I'm pretty sure there's extra. So
Okay.
we just got to keep it. I think it's either on the carpet or it landed in this somewhere.
Am I gonna step on it later? Oh, I see it
Okay, where is it?
right there.
Ah,
I remember reading Jane Eyre in high school and just being like completely wowed by it as a small teenage person.
in a good way.
No, well, yeah, yeah. I remember thinking
I,
that it was.
I think it's a really cool story, and but that's acknowledging how weird
It's
it
very
is,
weird, yeah.
right? But it's just an example of a neat story. You know, it's not kind of going back to the whole editing discussion. I mean, if Jane Eyre wasn't a thing, you know, and you just wrote Jane Eyre and gave it to an editor, they'd be like, what is this bullshit? You know? Because it's so much of the story is coincidences.
Yeah.
There's all these coincidences and kind of Deus Ex Machina stuff, and I mean, I know that's part of the genre that it's a part of and everything, but it's just it's a neat story, and it's weird and it's neat in its weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a much more interesting story than Pride and Prejudice. I wrote a paper in high school that compared the two and basically just said Jane Eyre was the better story because it's a lot more interesting stuff. There's more interesting conflicts in it, you know.
Spoken like a man.
Well,
No, just kidding.
I think Pride and Prejudice is a very good story too, but I think I don't know. Jane Eyre is interesting.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I think it's weird. And it's whoops. I'm doing the wrong thing again because I'm talking. What is this piece? Where is it?
So Anne says, I was thinking more that you have these two lonely young women seemingly abandoned to the world, desperately wanting to do something grander with their lives while they're stuck in their duties. Then they meet men who seem to fulfill their needs. Rochester is rude but clever and recognizes Jane's merits. Aragorn is the king, indeed, but not for Eowyn. That's its own trouble. And that's kind of interesting because you're drawing an analogy there between Rochester and Aragorn. Yeah. I don't know. It certainly is an interesting comparison. You could ask ChatGPT to write an essay comparing the two and see what it says. I'm actually kind of tempted to do that. I'm gonna just plug that into it, see what it says.
No, I can see where you're coming from. I can.
I'm not really expecting a whole lot, so I probably won't actually read anything out unless it comes up with something interesting. And generally, in my experience, ChatGPT does not usually come up with anything interesting or anything clever when you ask it these kind of questions, but
I'm sorry, guys. I don't think you've been able to see anything I'm doing. This tree is giving me trouble. Okay. It wants me to put this one here. These are the suggested placements. Oh, and I am skipping steps. I will try and put this here.
It just talked about them being both strong women, so that was kind of stupid. I'm going to ask it to go in more detail about their love interests.
Michael Shea says music. Did you see how big your collection is? Michael Shea says music.
Music? Is that a typo? That must
how
be a typo.
big your collection is. Oh, like our Lego collection or literal or actually music?
Oh. Yeah, I think he's just talking about our Lego collection.
Okay.
It's pretty big.
At this point, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think for the past, like since about 2012, I've probably gotten 2 or 3 Lego Star Wars sets from each wave. I don't ever collect complete waves.
Times 17. Cry.
You have for several waves you were getting 1 or 2 dragons from each Ninjago wave.
Yeah.
And a lot of the little scenery.
And then that ended in tears.
Will we finish tonight? Well, I've got 1 bag left after this, so
I do too.
I'm inclined to try to finish.
I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Okay.
As long as I don't talk too loud.
Yeah, I think we'll try it. Let me see if I can pound this out here.
Like that? Okay.
Yeah.
Make 17 of these little jobs.
Let's see. Some. Yeah, this is kind of the Chat GPT output is kind of garbage. It doesn't really compare the two; it just contrasts them. Yeah, it's garbage. Thanks, Chat GPT.
And you don't have to apologize. You're among friends here.
Now you've done it.
Got it. I used to love doing those papers. It's so fun. So I really like this this touch with the green leaf underneath this. It's very different from this guy. This is the cherry blossom bonsai tree.
Which uses tiny little frogs.
Yeah, but it's got tiny frogs. And it's using these same dark pink flowers and the white base, but it doesn't have any green. And I think that is nice, a nice touch. It's very subtle.
Some nice part usage here. We're using little binoculars for the tail lights.
Oh, fun.
Or tail pipes, I guess, not lights.
This is why foliage tends to be repetitive. Thanks. Because they do every single one the same. And it looks great when it's done. But you end up with a lot of pieces of the set bound up in one build over and over again. So what you're paying for as far as the experience versus plastic is less robust, in my opinion. There were a lot of frogs. I don't remember how many. Look it up here. $101 frogs. Maybe. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
You have one more bag?
One more bag after this, yes.
Nice. I think we can finish. Nice build here for the bat wing fins. This is a pretty great set. There's a lot of interesting detail in how it goes together, and nothing super annoying. The full price is kind of expensive, but everything is kind of expensive nowadays. I think on sale it's great set, and it's quite big too.
Michael Shea says I could make a pink Lego frog army.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about that bonsai set is it gives you two different foliages.
It does.
So if you'd rather use the green foliage, then you would have all that stuff just to use for something else.
But then you would have to build all of the green foliage.
Which is worse.
I don't know if it's any worse, but I'm not eager to build more foliage than I have.
Is that stuff still sitting in the bag?
Yeah. Yeah, I never even took it out.
Nice.
I was like, ooh, green foliage. I can do anything I want with this someday. This is why this was shaking. I forgot to put this piece on there. There.
Yeah. Anne says, I imagine that there's a very excited little girl out there somewhere with a pocket full of pink frogs. Oh, that's satisfying. It's really satisfying how these fins and stuff fit together in the back here. It's really nice. Look at that. Yeah, this is quite large.
Oops. Okay.
Try again.
Three more of these to do.
Anne says, I like how the leaves underneath suggest the pale green blush you see in the middle of the blossoms, too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oops, that's wrong. Almost done. Then I can build another one. But it will be a different build.
All right, last bag here for me. Something that I find really satisfying about Lego is how the vehicles have actual rubber tires.
These just go on all of them.
The Joker. Both of these sets came with the Joker. I think this bag is going to go pretty fast. It's mostly laying down plates and smooth parts on things.
I'm certainly wrong.
Michael Shea says that he didn't have fun with studs on the Lego Dagobah Swamp. Yeah, that is a really cool looking set, but that wouldn't be too much fun.
I'm just gonna rotate this so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Do it right. Whoop! All right. Where'd that bad boy go? Pushed it too far through. Do we plan on building the Lego Disney Castle?
Nope.
No.
We're not too big Disney people. Just for
despite the very long conversation we
had. I mean,
we
don't go to Disney World as a family.
I never went as a kid.
Didn't grow up going. So yeah, it's kind of not something. It's kind of a cool set, but and I think, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of how the sort of Disney character minifigures look.
Yeah,
either.
They don't look quite right.
So I don't know. I think even if I was a big Disney fan, I might kind of pass on that stuff.
But what if it was a frozen castle?
Well, there's that too. I don't know. There's movies that I like, and there's movies that I want to have stuff from sitting around in my house.
Yeah.
And most pure Disney stuff is not stuff I want to have sitting around my house.
All right. Are those extra? Did I miss something? I think I did. I think those are all extra. Okay. Sorry, I really haven't had extra. So there's the trees. Whoop. Thus far. Ultimate Kahuna is back. I've built trees in your absence. All right, I'm opening my last bag.
All right. We're very close to done here. Final sticker.
Oh, there's a sticker. I might catch you up. You're always thinking that.
This is gonna be an easy one.
You were gonna be waiting for me.
So this, yeah. Okay, just go up the top.
Right away, I'm missing a piece.
Are you actually?
No, I've just dumped it out, so I can't be
Yeah.
actually missing it. But where is it?
Ultimate Kahuna's carving a kraken.
Ooh, nice. I did not throw it away. I checked both bags before I moved them. So, where art thou?
What piece?
It's a brown piece with 2 holes in it. Michael Shea asks about the house. Yes, it is supposed to be facing away from the bridge. There are steps leading up to it here. It's in the style of a typical Japanese garden where you have to kind of wind around. Actually, there was a note about that. You can read it. I didn't read it because we were having an animated discussion about Frozen at the time.
I love Frozen, Tom said animatedly.
Okay, winding pathways invite you to see the garden and maybe other things from different perspectives. Oh, that's all. The rest is in other languages. Stones, rocks, and sand often bring deeper meaning to the grounds. Those are the 2 notes that I skipped. Now, where is my brown piece? It should be a big chunky one. Why is this happening to me? I'll tell you why it's happening. I'm on the wrong page.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm not missing a piece.
It's a piece that was already there.
No, I was looking at the wrong page.
Well,
to start the wrong tree.
But you're still missing the piece.
I'm not missing anything. That's what I was looking at the wrong box. I was looking at this one. Thought it was telling me to make another thing like that, but it was in fact the exact same thing. Anne's working on a knitted pinwheel quilt pattern. Needs a name. My friend told me that polymath quilt sounded like Sister Wives. Michael Shea says, I've been to Japan and I stayed in one of those houses in real life. They look really cool. Nice. We went to Japan, but we did not stay in a house like this. Oh.
Quit jerking around. I'm trying to put a sticker on. Not funny.
Okay, sorry. Here we go. Building one of these guys. So yeah, I haven't seen these pieces before. So I don't know if they're new to this set or if they've been used in other sets that I have not built. But be interesting to see if they continue to come up with new ways to mimic the swoop in the future, or if they just keep using this piece.
Yeah, usually it's sort of brick built.
Mm-hmm.
Have some little brick built piece that gives that appearance of the corner turning up.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to go back to Japan someday. That would be fun. We had fun.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Shea says, I have to go. Do you think you'll stream tomorrow night? Probably not, huh?
Yeah, but you can finish watching
Yeah.
this stream when you come back. We always leave our streams up. We
Yeah.
don't take them down. So we'd love to have you watch it at your convenience.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
And for reminding us to talk about the Legos.
Yeah. Yeah, usually we stream Lego building about once a week.
Mm-hmm.
When we're building a big set, we're just kind of doing some smaller stuff here in between, but
yeah. All right, I am going to build an upside down build for this pine tree. I'm pretty excited about this. This is a cool idea. Michael Shea says, cool, good night. I really like the stream. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Feel free to come anytime. We enjoyed having you.
Oh, he just subscribed.
Oh, thank you.
Should have a sound effect that we could play. Like an air horn.
In the middle of our quiet
Or
evening.
chill stream, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Just fall over then.
Okay.
Ultimate Kahuna says, I like how many people in the intertwined communities we are all part of can agree on so much, but also have many different types of content. My videos are very different from yours, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's fun. I think it's kind of fun to watch people who do sort of different things than I do. That's one thing I really like about Comicsgate is I'm not a comic creator, so I think it's kind of interesting to watch people who really know about comics talk about comics. I don't think I could be too excited about watching like just all videos talking about writing or game development or something. I kind of burn out on things if I watch too much content about my own hobbies. So it's nice to have a good variety.
Yeah. Oops. There we go.
These cool sideways build here for the windows. All these direction changing pieces did not exist when I was a kid. Looks pretty sweet. Windshield on. Oh, nice.
Did I do them all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I did. Okay.
There's a lot of really satisfying kind of locking things together in this set where you'll build something that goes sideways and it sits next to something and then you lock it together.
I'm building the top up like this. Anne says, I like learning about new things from people who are interested in them. I would never know about new indie stuff or what's going on in video games or anything like that without YouTube, unless I actually went out and met people.
Yeah.
And what's with that?
That would suck. Who wants to do that? Gross.
Ultimate Kahuna says, I love people who talk about games, but I didn't play games for years for several reasons. Now I'm getting back into it and it's great. Okay, there's the top. Stop twisting. There. Looks great. Okay, I see. It's kind of fun how they built these bases in different ways so that you could have a different types of things coming up. So like this one has 2 holes, whereas this one only had 1. And now this I'm going to be doing ball joints so that I can fit all of the little bamboo pieces in one base. I'll be doing 4 ball joints there. Okay. Using these candlestick pieces, they're green, to upside down build.
That candlestick piece is only a few years old, and it's really gotten a lot of use in many different applications.
And then I'm putting in the ball joint. It's just a ball on a stick. And then I'm flipping it over to continue building up like this. Oops. Sorry, like this. So that's the base of the bamboo there.
Michael Shea says good night.
Good night. There you go. And just I'm gonna twist that a bit. There. And on top. Come on. Let's go. There we go. What's that? Point at that. Of course. It comes right off. There. Bamboo.
It's kind of fun to sit and build something beginning to end. I don't always do that with these sets, like when we're not streaming.
Yeah.
When we do the bigger sets, it takes so long to build. You don't get the beginning to end experience out of it.
Yeah.
Most of the time when I get a really big Lego set myself, like $100 Star Wars set or something, I don't sit and build it all in one sitting. I spread it out over several days.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun to do it with a smaller set.
This will be a short one. Let's need to build this separately and then put it on. Come on, here we go.
I'm just building the little trunk here, and then that's about it.
Nice.
Some other random details, the roof.
I'm just putting them in as recommended for this. Okay, last tree. Is this my last one? This can't be it. No, I guess it is. This is really hard to see. It's a dark color. On a dark color. Oh, I see. Okay. So here's my base. And it's going to have me put the first layer on of leaves. And then I'm going to add this guy attached to bike handlebars. You guys can see that. Of course, I put it on the wrong way. I want me to put it on the other way. The handlebars are facing that way. Like that. It's going to have me do a second branch like that with a leaf on one side on top of that. And then oh, this is such a dark color. two of these guys. One on this side. I get it? Nope. There. And one up here. So it's got a very tiered look. Come on, go through. There. Very crooked little tree. Super cute. Very nice. Ah! I just dropped it. And then, of course, because this is a hinge, it can be adjusted any way I like. And that one goes there. I guess I should do it this way. This way. There. All right, that's me done.
All right, I'm loading all of his accessories into the trunk. I don't know if they will all fit because there's some duplicates. Nope, they definitely won't all fit.
Anne says the flames.
Yeah. So it spins when you roll it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then the cool action feature here is you've got this little gear here. The guns flip out.
Oh, do it again. Do it again.
Oops.
That's great.
Yep.
The gasp.
And then he's got a little trunk with his different accessories. I think that the interior cockpit is really nice in the set. Just it looks really cool, kind of and kind of claustrophobic in kind of a cool way. And Batman's got a nice cloth cape, so he'll sit really nicely in there. It's nice and deep, so he has room to sit without leaning far back to a silly degree. That's
Okay,
a problem
nice.
in some Lego sets. The minifigures end
Yeah.
up like practically lying on their back inside.
Anne says the little house is so lovely. I especially like the detail under the eaves. And she says, got a little bat panel and everything.
Yep. Yeah, I like that. There's the steering wheel and a control panel up at the top, and then a little one on either side further down in there. I think I could probably make him sit up a little bit more even, but it looks
really cool.
Looks pretty good that way. You can kind of look in there and see him.
Do you remember when we got the little boy, the Batmobile, and we got him a play, not a Lego one, a play Batmobile, and he loves cars. He put him in there and then was looking through the windshield at him, and he just thought that was the funniest thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm gonna get my other Batmobile.
Oh, okay. Room for the bat butt.
Yep. So this is the Dark Knight tumbler, which actually had a piece break on me on this. But so the three of those look, I think, really great.
Yeah, they
together.
do.
Here's the Dark Knight Batman.
And says his eyes say justice even behind glass.
Yeah. This one has quite a large cockpit, but it's always, the kids are always taking around with it. Get him sitting in there. This set came, it's like from the from Batman Begins, so it has the Scarecrow as the one that comes with the life.
Have you done it now?
I've done it. I've really done it.
And says Batman can have a whole party in that one. It's super cool.
Yeah, it's this one is really neat because I think it conveys that sort of complicated shape of the tumbler really well, and there ends up being quite a bit of room inside the. There ends up being room for two people to sit next to each other inside. If you can get him to go down on the studs with his cape. That might be a project for another time. But he sits in there. It probably goes closed.
It probably goes closed.
The wheel probably goes back on. So this one ended up actually being longer than this one. I kind of wasn't picturing that, but they
looks great.
Sure make a nice set. And then finally, I have the Penguins car from the Lego Batman movie, which is another. It's not a Batmobile, but it's a great Batman vehicle.
Looks awesome. Very cool, babe. All right. Well, I think we'll call it a night. Thank you to Anne who stuck it out with us, and to everybody who joined us in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fun time here.
We'll probably
Edge mine in here.
We'll probably tackle the Galaxy Explorer next.
Yeah.
Since that's what we have, but we have some other sets that we'd like to get.
Yeah.
So,
we weren't intending to get that Galaxy Explorer one, but we saw it on sale.
We weren't intending to get it as the one
right,
we do together. It was a set that I've been wanting for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably do that one next.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks everyone for coming and watching, and
yeah, and hopefully next week my throat will be better and I won't be sick and we won't have things going on, and we'll be able to do something more along the lines of our usual discussion. But we will continue to build Legos, not always on the same night of the week, but whenever we get a chance, we like to throw up a stream and work on it together. So this will not by any means be the last one.
Yep.
All right, everybody have a good night, and
take care.
Yeah.